Hi guys. I guess I'll start by saying good morning. It's 5 o'clock in the morning now in my current time. It probably won't be, well, I know it's not going to be 5 o'clock in the morning when you watch this. But, so maybe good afternoon, good evening to you and in your time at this point. But this wasn't the video I wanted to put out today. But due to unforeseen, unexpected circumstances, it is. So I'm currently, I'm just not overly comfortable with being on camera right now. I've been running crazy for a few days. Excuse me, maybe for like a couple weeks actually. And part of that is, so there's the high end baggage under my eyes, and then I'm renovating an apartment right now, so just covered in the bleach and the paint and the drywall dust and everything, and that's after a shower, and I have to go back and get covered in more of it today, and still be brushing drywall dust out of my hair and sawdust out of my hair for the next week. But those things happen, and with everything I've had going on in the last couple of weeks, and I sent a message to a handful of people yesterday asking them, how have you felt this week? What's going on with you? And the general consensus was all over the place, anxiety, up and down, some fears, things of that nature. So it really made me want to kind of address something, because in this last 2 weeks, I have had an incredible amount of things going on. I'll give a little bit of an overview, and I'm not trying to sit here and talk about myself or the woe is me. There is no woe. There's a me, but there's no woe. I'm perfectly fine. But I thought there also might be a cat about to lay on you, so if that happens, I apologize in advance. He's currently staring at you, and he may start laying on you, and I'll try to. He's awfully big. There may be some suffocation, but I'll try to prevent that. But so a week. Let's see. What day is today? Today's Friday. So last Tuesday, I was getting ready. I was trying to do some work for this business. Get ready. My mom had surgery coming up. She had surgery this Monday. So I was trying to prepare for that, getting everything going, and I get a call from one of my tenants that another tenant had completely destroyed the apartment. I was going crazy in the building, and I can't give too much information about it because there is probably going to be a big legal battle going on with that. But so, excuse me. Unfortunately, that took a good 4 days. That was Thursday of last week before that situation resolved, and then it took Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to get everything out of the apartment that was left behind, clean up all the broken glass, sanitize everything, and just be even ready to start any repairs or do any work. And then Monday, my mom went into surgery, which thank you to all, my messages, my phone calls were just flooded. I know a lot of you know my mom from back in the Facebook Live days, and it's just overly appreciated, and I can't thank you enough. She did really, really well, though surgery is super dangerous for her. She did incredibly well. She's a little trooper, and she's recovering quite well. So grateful, blessed. Thank you. I was driving home from the hospital, and I just could have almost had, if I was more of an emotional cat, I could have, I almost had tears in my eyes of how grateful I was that she did so well. So there's that. And then, get back and immediately start working on this apartment. And I mean, there was not a window left. It looked like the Kool-Aid man went through the wall, holes everywhere. Really, I won't even get into the disgusting factor of the disgustingness. So it's a lot. So immediately start working on that. I've been working on that nonstop till right this very moment, and I still have to go down there here in a few minutes. But so I don't have the time I want to do, and soon there's going to be coming. I want to do a few videos on how you can learn to do tarot instantaneously, because you can, and it's possible. It truly is. So I want to do that. But for today, because I made a promise to myself and to the universe and to this business and to my clients that after I took my break for a year, when I came back, I was going to be dedicated, and I am. And sometimes things change of how I do them, like I wanted to do. You could see my face. We could talk about the tarot, but I can't do that right now. If I spend the time to get up, set up for a full video, explain all that, I'm not going to make it down to the apartment today by the time I need to. So we're going to have to compromise. And that's what we're doing with this. And of course, I have a frog in my throat, because why wouldn't I? The minute I'm trying to record a video, right? So we're going to have to do the black screen, and we're just going to have a little chat, because I was thinking last night, it was like, I don't know, 9, 10 o'clock, I was laying here, I'm like, man, I said, I know what my couple of weeks have been like. What is everybody else? I've been too busy to even notice what's like collectively going on in the world. And everybody, like I said, I already said what everybody said. They all had the same general consensus. And I would say that I've definitely felt that way too. But the reason I'm in such a good place with everything going on is because I've learned that it's all, you don't necessarily ever change what happens. I mean, you can encourage better things. You're the co-creator of your reality. You can, you can create the ease or struggle or whatnot that you want. But, we'll get a little bit more into that in another video. But this one is strictly about not necessarily worrying about what is going to happen or how things are happening or what's happening, but more of it's all in what you do with it. So I have been in my past for years upon years upon years a person that all this would happen to, and I just cuddle up in a ball on my couch of stressed out, can't sleep or only sleep, can't eat or eat everything, and just worry about what I'm going to do and how I'm going to do it and how is this all going to work out. And I've been there too, thinking about, we'll just take, I don't know your personal situations off the top of my head right now. So, we'll take my situation. Okay, I don't know, I totaled it up yesterday, and so far I've spent $4,135 on this apartment. Well, I also have a $5,000 tax bill due next month, and I'm going, geez, how am I going to pay for all this? And, and then it worked out. I had a tenant that was running behind on some bills due to COVID, and they were able to come through and catch up the rent, and it all equals out. And I truly believe, is it luck? I mean, it could be. I do have a little bit of the luck of the Irish, but do I? Or is it the fact that I trust the universe enough to know that I may not understand why it's happening or what's happening, but I kind of just go with it? So I wanted to talk today about the fact that even if things are happening that you're like, oh my God, like this is so much why, or how am I gonna do this, or it's the way you get through it is you stop thinking about it. You don't have to choose that burden of thinking about it over and over till you stress yourself out and make yourself sick about it. We have this ability to be our own worst enemy, and we're really, really good at it sometimes. All the messages I got back of how this week has been, I've been that and I've done that, and there are moments where I still do. I'm grateful that it's down to moments instead of hours or days or weeks or months. But one of the best things I can tell you is don't allow yourself to get in your own mind. When your fears come to the surface, say, oh, okay, you're recognizing it. You're telling me that your fears are coming to the surface. So you're already at the stage of recognizing it, and that's wonderful. So now that you're recognizing it, recognize it. Take what take what the universe is trying to teach you from it. Take from it what you need, but then you don't have to hold on to it anymore. Let go, and it's funny because I just did the TikTok reading for the day before I did this, and it was about releasing attachment. And one of the biggest things humans attach onto is this horrible coping and processing mechanisms and ways. This frog's just in my throat. It's going to stay the whole video, so we're just going to have to deal with that. And it's so hard to realize you're the one that changes how you do that. I know it's hard. I know it's hard to do that change, and then you realize you need it, and then it's like, well, fuck, how do I implement it, and this, that, and the third. And don't overthink it. Just do it. When you notice yourself, we'll go with the fears for right now. You notice, okay, This is really triggering some fears. I've been through some situations like this. Oh, it makes me uncomfortable. Okay, you got it. You recognized it. Now, push yourself up, whether it's stop thinking about it, whether you actually have to get yourself up off the bed or the couch to go do the dishes, take a shower, get ready, go to work, go do some yard work, go for a walk, go poke your cat. Oh, that came off wrong. I meant like actually, okay, we'll move past that. Um, do it. Sometimes you have to do the physical action that is representing what you want to do. You've recognized what your mental and emotional and spiritual are going through, so now it's time to let it go. And that is when the physical comes into play. If you're running on the treadmill or you're cooking or you're going for a walk, you have to focus on other things. You have to focus on not go running off the treadmill or flopping over. You have to focus on not burning the kitchen down, or if you're going for a walk outside, not walking in front of a car, or paying attention to the street and what's around you. Your brain actually has to remove its focus from what you're obsessing, worried, thinking about into something else. And the more times you can enhance your physical body to do things that has to distract your mind, the more your mindset will become programmed to not continually obsess about what is worrying you, what is making you fearful, what is making you sad. There are absolutely moments where you need to take a minute, allow yourself to feel, and not brush it under the rug. None of this is saying brush it under the rug. You absolutely want to take the time to recognize it, feel it, and learn from it. But then it's about not letting it control you and doing, if need be. Did I get it that time? Maybe. Let's take a drink. And then maybe by doing, more than likely, not even maybe, more than likely, by doing the physical act of distracting yourself, you're actually allowing yourself to take away the obsessive thoughts about how bad this situation is, and really in the subconscious, in the back of your mind, process what you've learned from it. And all this allows you to not keep adding it to the baggage that you're carrying around. Your mindset really is everything. And when we're in those bad mindsets, it doesn't feel like we're able to control it, because we're not instantaneously, we're not right away. But there's so many people and so many sources that say everything's mindset, control your mindset. And that's factual, but they don't tell you how to do it, because you don't just wake up one day and go, okay, yep, new mindset today, perfect, life's good, here we go. Our brains are very much like a computer system, and you have to program by constant repetitive choices and decisions that you're making on your own consciously to reprogram your mindset, to allow yourself to be in a better place, to co-create a better reality. There's a lot of work that goes into reprogramming the mind, and it is one of the most, in my humble opinion, is one of the most imperative factors in our spiritual journey. It's not just about getting to the end or the goal of having the happy. The happy is here if we can figure out how to unfuck our own mental to feel it in this moment. No matter what's going on, the happy is here. And a lot of times our badly or false or pre-programmed mindsets don't allow us to recognize it. And that is, everybody says do this or do that or just change your mindset. But again, nobody says how. But that's what it is. It's remembering, even when you feel like you don't, that you have the control over your mind. And when you feel like you don't have the control over your mind, that's where sometimes it's helpful to take the physical action that proves you have the control. Because you can, again, if you're driving, I know we all zone out and we get into our happy place while we're driving. But, if you're in downtown traffic, you're paying attention to what you're doing. You don't have a choice. You can't be thinking about, oh, I'm upset over this, or I'm fearful about this, or I'm anxious over this, or what am I going to do with this? Sometimes we have to take ourselves and put ourselves in a situation where we have to focus on something else, so we're not focusing on the patterns that we're trying to leave behind. I feel like I do these and then I ramble and then I get off topic and I never truly know if I get the message across. But the whole gist of this, and I'm trying not to just sit here and bibble and babble and speak a bunch of bullshit, but the gist of this is we really, really do have the ability to, the fact is your mindset does create your reality. And the other fact of the matter is you do have control over your mindset. But people start there instead of starting at the beginning of how do I begin to gain control over my mindset? And that is stopping yourself. Literally, when you see yourself or feel yourself or recognize yourself being obsessive or having obsessive thoughts over money or relationships or friendships or, I don't know, cats, anything, remove yourself from the situation. If every time, say you're trying to get over your addiction to cats, if every time you recognize yourself thinking about a cat, you physically get up and do something different that has to direct you away from that thought, your mind it programs itself based on repetitive behavior. So the more you focus into your obsession on cats, the more you're going to continue to obsess on cats. The more when you recognize you are obsessing on the cats, you are able to then, the minute you start obsessing, get up, actively switch your situation and what you're doing to make your mind focus on something else. Your mind's going to get with the program and start programming itself to know that it can't spend that much time thinking about it. So therefore the obsession and the addiction naturally begins to become programmed out. We do truly have the ability to control our mindset and where our thoughts go. And a lot of people don't attribute doing an actual physical act to reprogramming the mind. And at least for me and quite a few other people that I've led through it, it has worked very, very well. So if you notice this week, next week, a future week, a week in a couple of years from now, you're having a bit of a struggle, don't forget, if you're probably listening to this video, you probably already understand the concept that your mindset creates your reality. But don't forget, even when you don't feel like you can, you do have the power to control your mindset. And sometimes that involves just saying fuck it and walking away for a few minutes doing something else. Sometimes that involves saying, no, you know what, you know better than this. Have your faith in the universe and just keep going. Whatever way it works for you, whatever physical action, whatever emotional action that works best for you, you have to find your own path. But it is a process to learning to control yourself, to control your mental, to create your reality. And if you want my help with finding your own perfect way to do that works the best for you, I'll be glad to help. But especially when you feel like you can, I promise you can. You feel like you can't because your mind's stuck in that mindset of, no, we've always done this, we can't change. Change, scary. But you can. And once your mind gets used to it, then it's normal, and then it feels much more comfortable like that. And something negative or anxiety ridden comes in, it's like, no, we're not going to go back to that. This is our new norm. We know how to do this. And you yourself as a whole feels better functioning on that different mindset. But play around with some things. See what works best for you. See if it's getting up and doing something, or maybe it's going to sleep for a little bit, but make sure you're not falling asleep thinking about it, or going to sleep to simply avoid it. It's actively being engaged with it while taking yourself out of the situation. And a lot of times in the beginning, when we're learning how to do that, we have to do it in a physical manner to represent the mental way as well. But I don't know if any of this made sense. I don't know if it was me sitting here rambling, seeing if this cat was going to jump on the phone and smother you guys for 20 minutes or not. But I love you. Let me know thoughts, questions, or concerns. And I do have one video recorded for next week. I still have 2 more. I am a little behind, but hopefully the apartment will be fully done by next week and we can get back to schedule and do the videos I had planned. But until next time, I love you. Comment, message if you need anything at all. I'll see you soon.